The Portuguese and Spanish. The Portuguese and Spanish were much more chilled out than British and French when it comes to colonialism. The indigenous tribes were not wiped out in South America, unlike North America. Neither the Portuguese and Spanish sucked out the resources of their colonies, and unlike what France did in Africa and Britain did in South Asia. In today's world, the past Spanish and Portuguese colonies have higher HDI and GDP per capita. Why so? Okay, let's go to our friend Google and Google a few things to see whether these claims out down here are correct or not. So we open a fresh blank page of Google and let me Google Tierra del Fuego. Tierra del Fuego is an archipelago in South America. Okay, if I go to the map, then it will show me what place. Okay, this region. Okay, the southern tip of of South America. Now let's go back and say natives. Natives. The Fuegians are the natives. Okay, what did they look like? So they looked like this. Let's go back to Google and look at Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a bad source of information for India, but in this case, in many cases it's a bad source of information. But I'm just looking at it for the sake of convenience. So the Fuegians they were the indigenous inhabitants of this place, Tierra del Fuego, at the southern tip of South America. They have been wiped out of existence. These are Julius Popper, a person who is killing various these natives, shooting them like they're wild animals. Check it out. Okay, this is what they looked like in 1915. They still existed in 1915. Look at these innocent faces, these children, women, men, children, families. Okay, uh, so one of these cultures was called the Siknam, and yeah, they were genocided, as you can see. There was an internment camp and all that, and once again, killings. These are children from 1898. I wonder what happened to these two kids, and so on. So this is just one example. Tierra del Fuego. When it comes to the nation of Argentina, where are the natives? When it comes to many parts of South America, the natives have disappeared. They have been entirely exterminated out of existence. If you read the accounts of the Spanish conquistadors who first um, invaded various South American cultures, you will see that they were anything but chilled out. They were brutal, they were barbaric, they were bloodthirsty. Whether it is Hernan Cortés, Francesco Pizarro, um, Coronado, or Del Soto, or whoever, they were brutes. They killed incredibly shocking amounts of people. So I would very much disagree that the Portuguese and Spanish were much more chilled out than the British and French. What I would The truth is that the British were much more systematic and rigorous in exterminating native populations. The Portuguese and Spanish did not do a thorough enough job. The Spanish did kill off many populations, like the people I just showed you just now in Tierra del Fuego, also the Arawak people of Hispaniola, and so many more. But if you look at North America, if you look at Florida, if you look at many of these places, huge regions of the United States and North America, the natives have been entirely exterminated. So the British did a much better job of exterminating the natives. The British eventually morphed into the Americans. I mean, the United States. Uh, when it comes to sucking out resources, the Spanish sucked out everything of value from the Inca, from the Aztec, from various other places. Everything was of value. Every single microgram of gold was sucked out and sent to Europe, to Spain. And it funded the lavish lifestyle of the Spanish court and the various wars they were fighting in Europe. They sucked everything out. The Portuguese did not go to the Americas, they went eastwards. And they did the same thing wherever they could. They were also bloodthirsty and barbaric and brutal. And they also attempted to genocide everything out of existence. The Portuguese probably weren't that good enough. Of course, they did unleash the Inquisition, the brutal, barbaric, inhuman s- Inquisition on Goa and so on. And they did a lot of bad things as well in other places, the Portuguese. But overall, when it comes to being brutally effective, the British were far better. A nation of bookkeepers, right? Shopkeepers, whatever. They were very effective, much more than the Spanish and the Portuguese. Uh, the French were reasonably good as well. Yes. Uh, so today's past Spanish and Portuguese colonies, do they have higher Human Development Index (HDI)? Argentina, how is it? Former Spanish colony, not so good. Peru, if you look at the whole map of South America, most of these are former Spanish and Spanish colonies, except for Brazil, which has Portuguese influence. So if you look at these past Spanish colonies, the HDI and all is it's quite bad actually. If you look at the Dominican Republic, where the capital is Santo Domingo, a city that Columbus founded, abysmal levels of everything, terrible economy, tremendous corruption, rampant corruption, and so on. When it comes to the British colonies in the Americas, all are first world. When it comes to the Spanish colonies, they're all second or third world. In Asia, it's a different story, but we're talking about the Americas here. So yeah, so I don't think you have to really study history in more detail to understand that the Spanish and the Portuguese were not chilled out. They were just as brutal and barbaric as any other European invader of non-European cultures.